Welcome back to 15 Lanes Talk Game Week 18 review show. We are going to talk about all the games that happened all over the weekend as Manchester United humbled Newcastle at the Old Trafford. Manchester City are still putting pressure on Arsenal as they beat Nottingham Forest at the City ground. Liverpool won their fourth game in a row. Arsenal are still on the top of the table as they humbled Brighton. Chelsea Football Club dropped points again. Let's go. Manchester United 1, Newcastle 0. Manchester United were back to their winning ways after humbling Newcastle at the Old Trafford. Both teams were separated by 3 points. So if Newcastle won this game, they were going to close the gap on Manchester United. But Manchester United ended up winning to extend their gap to 6 points and also moving on the same points with Chelsea. But some of the talking points in this game, we saw for the first time Ruben Amorim playing with a back four, which dominated that game in the halftime for Manchester United, and a wonder strike from Patrick Dogu, who also played on the right wing to help Manchester United secure all the 3 points. And we saw in this game how important Casemiro is, or how important Casemiro was for Manchester United, and how of Aston Villa because he was suspended. And Casemiro was also surprised when Ruben Amorim took him off for Linioro to go back to a back three, which invited a lot of pressure for Manchester United. But their defense, Lisandro Martinez and Heavens, worked hard, plus Lamens, to keep that clean sheet intact and to take all the 3 points for Manchester United. On the other hand, we saw Mason Mount leaving the pitch with an injury, which also led to the introduction of Fletcher's son to play in his second consecutive game for Manchester United in that. Newcastle now have just won one game in their last 5 Premier League games. It's a worrying factor for them right now. And also the curse continues. Their away curse continues. They have been struggling away this whole season. You understand? They have only one away win. And they have been dominating this fixture between them and Manchester United. Their last 5 meetings, Newcastle had won 4. And Manchester United had only won once. But this time around, Manchester United got their second wins. In the last 6 meetings now, Manchester United has 2 wins, Newcastle 4. Nottingham Forest 1, Manchester City 2. Manchester City registered their 6th consecutive victory in the league as they traveled to the City ground. Some of the talking points in this game, there was some controversy in the refereeing decision as Ruben Dias was not shown a second yellow card, and O'Reilly's foul on Gibbs White in the build-up of Manchester City's second goal. Sean Dyche came out and complained about this. And let us talk about Rayan Cherki, the man of the moment. Rayan Cherki, who just costed Manchester City 30 million. You understand? He was on the score sheet and also had an assist in this game and was voted man of the match. Right now, he has 8 assists in the league, tied with Bruno Fernandes as the top assist of this season. Liverpool 2, Wolves 1. Liverpool got their consecutive win as they welcomed Wolves at the Anfield and also extend their unbeaten run. Remember, we mentioned this in our preview show that Liverpool has been dominating this fixture. So for me, on the other hand, I never thought like Wolves, the worst team in the league, was going to do any damage to Liverpool. And I was right. It was an easy match for Liverpool, though in the dying minutes there, Liverpool became somehow shaky, but they crossed the line. Some of the talking points in this game: Wolves set a new record, being the first team in the Premier League to lose 18 consecutive games. You understand? It's worrying. They are already right now in the championship. They are just waiting for the league to end to book their place in the championship. Liverpool are right now 3 points ahead of Chelsea. Remember, both teams were on the same points, but Chelsea dropped points against Aston Villa. Now Liverpool have now moved 4th on the table and 3 points ahead of Chelsea Football Club. All the 3 summer signings of Liverpool this time around were involved in all the goals that Liverpool scored against Wolves. Ekitike provided an assist to Florian Wirtz, and also Frimpong assisted Ryan Gravenberch. But let's talk about the man of the match in this game Florian Wirtz, who was on the score sheet, who scored his first goal for Liverpool, who scored his first Premier League goal for Liverpool in 18 games. You understand? He was man of the match, and remember last week he assisted in that game. He assisted Eketike in that game against Brighton. Arsenal 2, Brighton 1. Arsenal moved back on the top of the table after humbling Brighton at the Emirates. Some of the talking points in this game, we saw Martin Ødegaard score his first goal for Arsenal since February. You understand, which is a positive. Maybe right now, since Arsenal are going to have some hard fixtures coming up, maybe this is needed. That goal was really needed to boost his confidence. So we saw Rice play at right back since Arteta never wanted to risk Timber, who had some knock against Crystal Palace in midweek. Arsenal have now scored 4 consecutive own goals. You understand, they have just scored 1 goal from open play from their player. Most of the goals they have scored have been own goals. And also injury crisis. Before this game started, they announced that Calafiori had got an injury in warm-up, which also led to the tactical change in the lineup, as we saw Lewis Kelly playing there at the right back. But the positive news in this game, we saw Gabriel Magalhaes back in the squad as he came in for Lewis Kelly. David Raya with the save of the season to help Arsenal secure the 3 points. That was a very strong hand from him to save that shot from Menta. If it had gone in, things would have gone from bad to worse for Arsenal Football Club. I have some questions. Why is Eze and Madueke not playing for Arsenal right now? Remember, they cost Arsenal 100+ million in the summer. Eze was signed for 65 million and Noni Madueke for 50 million. But now, both players have missed 5 consecutive games between them. Eze has missed 2 consecutive games unused sub, and Madueke 3 consecutive games unused sub. Even when they played in midweek against Crystal Palace, they were hooked off, and Arteta brought in Ødegaard and Saka. So it means like Arteta signed players he doesn't trust. And also there is a tendency, since the Sunderland game, there is a tendency, if Arsenal lead, when the game reaches in 60 to 70 minutes, they tend to sit back and invite pressure. You understand? We saw this against Sunderland, and Sunderland equalized that game. We saw it against Aston Villa. Aston Villa went ahead to win that game 2-1. We saw it against Wolves, the worst team in the league. They were leading, they decided to go and sit back. Wolves equalized, and they had to dig deep to get a win. We saw it against Brighton. They also went and sat back, and Brighton invited pressure to force Raya to make that save. Chelsea 1, Aston Villa 2. Chelsea dropped points again. Remember, Chelsea were unbeaten at the Stamford Bridge in 10 consecutive matches until they met Aston Villa, who were also unbeaten, who were also on a 10-win streak. You understand? They humbled Chelsea to continue on their winning streak, to extend their winning streak to 11 games in all competitions. And some of the talking points in this game, we saw how wasteful Alejandro Garnacho and Pedro Neto were in this game for Chelsea. Halftime, Chelsea had to be like 3-0 up. But Alejandro Garnacho and Pedro Neto, they were making very poor decisions. They were very shaky. That also helped Aston Villa to hold in until when Unai Emery made those tactical changes of the 3 subs that changed everything, whereby Ollie Watkins came on and scored 2 goals to help Aston Villa to extend their unbeaten run and also still be in the 3rd place on top of the table. Why did Enzo Maresca drop his best centre-back in Fofana? You understand, we saw him, he dropped his best centre-back Fofana for Badeshile against this informed Aston Villa team. You understand? For me, I think that was a poor decision from Enzo Maresca. Said that this is one of the advantages of Aston Villa, since Enzo Maresca was banned from the touchline. Aston Villa was going to take advantage of this, and we saw it took advantage and it paid off. We saw with the changes Chelsea also made, and Cole Palmer was taken off for Estava, and he just walked straight to the tunnel. You understand? It showed his frustration in this game. It showed his frustration why he was taken off, and he's one of Chelsea's best attackers.